This game has probably been around since the Stone Age. This is Dinosaur Tag. Here, players are working on dribbling and changing direction with the ball. Create a square space with your cones, then use more cones to create a triangle for each pair of players. Every pair gets a ball. Here's how it looks. In each pair, one player is a dinosaur and the other is a park ranger. Uh-oh, did someone say lunch? Both players dribble around the triangle, with the dinosaur trying to tag the park ranger. To avoid getting gobbled, park rangers can go any direction, just no leaving the triangle and no leaving the ball behind either. Every time there's a tag or after a minute of play, players switch roles.
If you tag me, what do you think happens?
You get eaten.
I get to eat him?
No, you ate.
He ate me. Yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
But no, what's going to happen is you're the park ranger and I chase you.
Some dinos won't be able to catch their partners. That's why we're rotating them. Others might have trouble turning the ball around the triangle corners. All common issues, which is why we focus less on the skill and more on the fun. The skill will come naturally as players spend more time with the ball. Coaches, encourage players to use small touches with the inside and outside of both feet, like so, for maximum control. It's going to be tricky and slow them down at first, but that's okay. The idea is to add speed with repetition. Remember, small touches, change direction, use both feet. You'll be a dynamite dribbler in no time. Lightning McQueen would definitely approve of this one. This is red light, green light. Here, we're working on dribbling, agility, and coordination. Use 4 cones to set up your space and give each player a ball. Here's how it looks.
Ready? And green light.
When you call
Anywhere
green
you want
light,
in the
they
square.
dribble fast. Tell them to imagine they're their favorite race car as they zoom around the space. Gratuitous car sounds are highly encouraged.
I can't hear you, I'm old. Yellow light.
On yellow light, they slow down, using small touches to keep the ball close to their body.
I love how you're keeping the ball within your force field. That's great.
On red light,
they
stop with one foot on the ball, like this. Keep calling different lights at random as they move around the space. After a minute or two, ask your players to suggest a new color and assign it a new action, like orange means swing your arms back and forth, or purple means dance your heart out. Repeat each color a few times after you add it to help them remember. This game is great for releasing lots of pent-up energy. Just call out lots of green lights. But remind players to keep their heads up to avoid collisions. It's not a demolition derby. Coaches, don't be surprised if your players can't stop the ball on a dime when you call red light.
Red light!
Red light! Red light! Red light!
Emphasize small touches to keep the ball close and to try using the sole of their foot to stop the ball. Remember, green means go, yellow means slow, and purple means whatever you want. Luckily, these cars run on water and orange slices. No cuts, no butts, no coconuts. This is Wreck-It Ralph. Here, we're working on dribbling around obstacles. In this case, a big angry guy, or gal, who looks a lot like you, Coach.
Wreck-It Ralph!
And finding opportunities to score. Create a large square with your cones and use 3 more cones in each corner to create small square goals. Here's how it looks. Players dribble around the space and try to score by dribbling their balls into the goals, while you, the bad guy, try to stop them by knocking their balls away. When a player loses their ball, it's 10 toe taps to get back in the game. Play short rounds, about a minute long.
Good, and stop. Come on in. What I want you to do is try to get one more than you did last time.
Remind players to keep their heads up while they dribble. It's important to see where they're going and where not to go. Coaches, with multiple goals and one large obstacle, this game is a great chance for players to make their own decisions, evaluating risk versus safety, by choosing the best goal to attack and determining whether they can get there in time. Sounds a lot like the actual game, doesn't it? Except with a few extra goals. Remember, heads up, dribble to score, and get around obstacles. Obstacle. Just try not to go turbo on us.
It's both a game and a rescue mission. This is 101 Dalmatians. Here, players are working on their dribbling skills and learning to find open space under pressure from a fur-loving bandit, aka you. Yes, the ball here is a puppy, and each time a player dribbles a ball to safety, it's a puppy saved. Create a square space with your cones, then use more cones to place triangles randomly throughout the space, about as many as you have players. Everyone gets a ball. Here's how it looks. Players move around the space, trying to dribble into a triangle, with the ball within a hula hoop's distance of their body as many times as they can. Every time they do, they get a point, and you guessed it, the team's goal is to get to 101. But there's a coach-sized problem. Your job is to roam the grid, trying to knock balls away from the rescue team. Some players will have a hard time keeping the ball under control. That's okay. Just encourage them to use little touches to keep the ball close and remind them to keep their heads up, both to spot their targets and keep an eye on you. Coaches, you can be as crafty or clumsy as you want, but consider going after your strongest players first. It gives them an extra challenge while taking pressure off the players who need more practice. Another perk of being the coach, you can play as long as you want until, say, your players hit 101 saves. Remember, control the ball, heads up, and save those puppies. They'll be dog-tired at the end of this one.
A zig here, a zag there, and soccer heaven awaits. This is Gates Dribbling. This one's a classic, and for good reason, since dribbling is one of soccer's most important skills. Here, we've combined it with scoring goals, which, we checked, pretty much all kids like. Use cones to set up a rectangular grid and place pairs of cones arm's length apart, randomly, throughout the space. These are your gates, aka goals, and aim for as many gates as you have players. Here's how it looks. Players dribble through as many gates as possible before you call time, like this. Players should keep their heads up, looking for their next target as they cross each gate. It may be tough for them to switch direction with the ball at this age, but we're looking for the try. Expect players to take big touches and try to shoot their balls through the gates. Ball control is what's important here. Remind them to take small touches and dribble the ball. You can tell them they have a force field that goes as far as their arms in every direction, and that they want to keep the ball inside it when they dribble. This should work because we also checked, kids like force fields too.
Heads up!
Coaches, if you happen to have a pool noodle, you can up the challenge by using it to block certain gates or knock balls away.
Hey, I'm the knight. I'm guarding the castle.
What's that? How you doing? How you doing?
It's a great way to challenge your skillful players while keeping the game accessible for everyone. Remember, small touches, force fields of control, heads up. You might need some gate arrayed after this one. If flag football, tag, and soccer had a baby, it would be this game. DuckTales. Yes, just when you thought soccer couldn't be more fun, we've combined it with not one, but two beloved games. Here, players use their wits and moves to maintain possession of the ball, or in this case, their tail, under pressure from an opponent. Use 4 cones to set up a square space, while each player tucks a penny in the back of their shorts. This is their tail. Here's how it looks. Players dribble their ball around the space trying to steal a teammate's tail while protecting their own. Play several rounds, about a minute each. If you want to make it competitive, the player with the most tails at the end wins the round.
Good job. Keep playing.
We want players keeping their heads up and shifting their hips to protect their tails.
No, got your tail.
All while controlling the ball and bursting away when they grab one from another player. Yes, this can be hard, but they'll have a great time trying, and it's also a pretty great way to develop their coordination and agility. Some kids might get plucked early. No elimination here. They just keep dribbling and try to get another tail. And if a tail falls off, just tuck it back in. Coaches, look for players who face their opponents instead of trying to outrun them. That's what we want. And it's how they'll eventually take on a defender. Eventually. Remember, heads up. Protect your tail. Face your opponent. Release the Quacken. We're going 20,000 rec leagues under the sea. This is the Octopus. In this game, we're working on changing direction and getting around obstacles with the ball. But more importantly, you finally get to put those pool noodles to good use. Use your cones to set up a rectangular space that's wider than it is long. This is your ocean. Here's how it looks.
And go!
You, coach, are the octopus with 2 pool noodles, or pennies for tentacles. Your players must dribble across the ocean without getting tagged by you. But if you do tag them, or their ball, it's 10 toe taps to get back in the game.
Out of bounds. Do your toe taps.
Encourage players to use small touches to get around you and bigger touches to get away. Coaches, what's great about this game, apart from the obvious, is that you can adjust the difficulty to each player's ability, like raising the pressure on players who crave more of a challenge. Whenever you can push players just the right amount for their skill level, it's good stuff. Remember, little touches to change direction, big touches to escape, toe taps to get back in. We give it 8 thumbs up.
Time to loosen up those sea legs. This is island hopping. This game helps players learn to find open space while dribbling around an obstacle. And it gives you a way to add pirates to your soccer practice. Because who doesn't love playing a pirate? We're looking at you, Coach.
Here comes a pirate. Pirate. I'm a pirate, pirate, pilot, pilot. Oh.
Set up a large square with your cones and use more cones to make small square islands in each corner. Pick 2 volunteers to be your pirates and give everyone else a ball. Here's how it looks.
Go, pirates, go.
The pirates start in the center while the other players each choose an island. The goal is to dribble from one island to another without getting tagged by a pirate. If a pirate tags you between islands, you walk the plank. Nah, you just become a pirate too. The game continues until everyone's been tagged. Then you pick new pirates and play again. We're looking for players to use their speed and their eyes to get to safety. Some players may be reluctant to leave their islands. Just encourage them to take chances, but don't push too hard if they're not ready. Coaches encourage players to make their own decisions about where to run instead of following the pack to one island. Remind them to keep their heads up, find an open island, and get there quickly. Remember, take chances, heads up, and watch out for pirates. This one will whip your team into ship shape. We're sticking to our partners like cheese on macaroni. This is shadow dribbling. Here, we're helping players learn to react quickly on the field and to keep their heads up while dribbling, just like follow the leader, soccer style. Use cones to mark your space and divide players into pairs. Everyone gets a ball. Here's how it looks. In each pair, one player is the leader, who dribbles around however they want. Their partner is the shadow. They follow close behind the leader and mimic their every move. After a minute or so, have players switch roles and shadow some more. For younger players, most of their moves will be changes of speed or direction. But if the leader tries something fancy, encourage their shadow to try it too. Even if they're not a perfect copycat, this is about developing those reflexes to react quickly to another player's movements, whether it's here or in a game. Coaches, this game also helps players get accustomed to keeping their heads up as they dribble, an essential skill. If they're struggling, encourage them to take small touches so it's easier to control the ball without looking. Remember, follow the leader, be a copycat, and heads up. Like they say, imitation is the highest form of flattery.
As coach, you wear many hats: teacher, cheerleader, and now human goalpost. This is moving goal.
And go!
Here, we're teaching players to look for the goal when they get the ball, and to take a shot when they get the chance. It's kind of like whack-a-mole, where the goal is the mole and the kids shoot under it instead of whacking it. Or something like that. Use cones to create a rectangle and grab another adult and a pool noodle or a few pennies tied together, each of you holding one end, just below waist height. That's your goal, and instead of standing still, you move around the space, like this. Here's how it looks. Players dribble with their heads up to find the goal, then shoot from close range.
Oh, softer touches there. That's good.
It's not about power or even precision. Instead, we want them to get comfortable taking shots when they have a chance to score, learning to recognize those chances, and taking action. Don't be surprised if players herd together in front of the goal. Encourage them to spread out, and if it becomes a traffic jam, just ask more parents to jump in as goals. Coaches, you can also adjust the difficulty of this game for different players, moving faster for players who want a challenge and more slowly for players who need a bit more time. Remember, heads up, get close, take the shot. It's the most fun you'll ever have burning 20 calories.